Now we'll take a look at the new SMS clients feature here. You can, when you're logged in as administrator, you'll be able to create new SMS clients. I have one here as an example. You can give it any name you like. This is for your own reference, and this is how it will show up in various places on the website. But what you do is you give it a name, and then you need to assign the Twilio settings. Now, if you leave this to default, which is not using a Twilio sub account and not using their own Twilio account, it's going to default to your master settings. Now, this kind of defeats the purpose of creating a client unless you create a new website for each client. But the purpose of this feature is for you to be able to have multiple clients and users on one WordPress installation. So you should be selecting a sub account or assigning the Twilio settings manually. If you're using a sub account, I've covered those in a separate covered sub accounts in a separate video. Those sub accounts that you create will show up in this drop down list. Now, a sub account will override in the code. If you have a sub account set, it's going to use the sub account settings, even if you plug something in here. So just keep that in mind. If you want to use their own Twilio account because maybe you want them to be billed directly on their credit card for just their usage and you don't have to worry about that, you can do that, and that works and it's fine. So what you would do is you go into their Twilio account and grab their Twilio SID and auth token, plug those in here, set this to none and update it, and then you will see their account information here. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my sub account I created, and when I do that I will see the phone numbers that are assigned to the sub account. When you first create a sub account, you're not going to see phone numbers here. So if I go, let me just switch over here to this one I think I created in testing, and if I update it, you'll see that there are no phone numbers here. So be careful about switching back and forth, because if you switch, you're going to sub accounts for this client in the middle of a campaign or the middle of already having grabbed some phone numbers and that type of thing. Might get a little confused. So once you create a client and assign a sub account to that client, you're going to want to stick with that. So let me update this, and it's reloading, thinking, and there we go. Okay, so again, I'm sticking with this sub account, and it's going to show me these numbers. These numbers are only attached to this sub account. No one else can see these unless they are unless you have a second client that's maybe using the same sub account, although I would not recommend that either. Getting a new phone number, you can, for a sub account, you wouldn't, like in the old or the first version of the plugin, you would go under SMS lists and go to phone numbers. You can still do that. Those phone numbers will be assigned, under this. Let me click this, maybe open in a new tab here. So here are Twilio phone numbers. These are phone numbers that are assigned to my main Twilio account or my master account, and these are available to anyone on your website that isn't assigned to a client or sub account. So these are kind of like the defaults for the site, but you can still get and assign numbers this way. But with the new client features, what you want to do is grab their phone numbers from within their client record. So you've created a sub account, you've linked this client to this sub account, and now you see the phone numbers attached here that I've already purchased. So you can type in a phone number or area code, I should say, and you'll get a list of available phone numbers in that area. So you just click on buy. It'll prompt you, are you sure? I'm going to cancel for now. And then once you do that, you'll see that show up here at the top. It should automatically create the right URLs for your website, but if you need to, for some reason, go in and manage those, just click on it. You can hit reset, which will, like if I type something in here and I forget, I can just hit reset and it'll enter the correct voice or SMS URL. And then when you close it, it automatically saves. You can also, under this name field, you can give these names. So like if you have separate numbers, you want to track them, maybe you want a lunch. That's just an example here. Lunch specials. Maybe this number, you've set up a special number that is for lunch specials, and maybe you created a separate promotional number that is for something else. I don't know, let's just say they offer breakfast, and you want to have a separate breakfast customers list. And then you could even do cross promotions between your customers in that for that own client, for that client. But this just is a label to help you distinguish what these are about. Another little feature is there's some statistics over here for this client. So you can see how many text messages have gone in and out today, how many for the current month, how many for previous month. This will be I'll make this a little more in-depth and more robust in the near future in another upgrade, but for now this gives you enough information if you want to track their usage for the agreement. Let's say you've agreed they're paying you whatever X dollars a month to be able to send 1,000 messages in and out total a month. And you're seeing, well, they're getting close. They're sending out, they're using their login, they're sending out broadcasts to their list, and maybe they've surpassed that 1,000. You can simply disable their account. You don't have to suspend their account like in the previous video I showed you under the sub account settings, because maybe you still want them to be able to grow their list, and because they're not getting hundreds of new people a day on the list, it's not a big deal to get people in and out. But you don't want them to be able to broadcast. You could just go to under your users and change the password, lock them out, and then they wouldn't be able to send any more broadcasts. But okay, so this pretty much covers the SMS client user interface here. I will show you how you integrate a client into specific lists in another video.